All right, let's talk about a problem that I'm pretty sure every single one of us has. That feeling of having way too much to do. Well, stick with me because we're going to break down a really simple but incredibly powerful way to finally get a handle on all that chaos. Okay, so let's start with a feeling that is probably way too familiar. You know that moment you look at your to-do list and it's not really a list anymore? It feels more like this giant wave of tasks that's just about to crash right over you. It's modern chaos, right? You've got your project deadlines over here, they're at war with your personal goals over there, and then there are like a dozen little things all just screaming for your attention at the same time. This constant battle of what do I do next? It's exhausting. And here's the tough part. When everything feels urgent, then nothing actually is. If you don't have a clear way to prioritize, you're not just busy. You're basically just treading water, drowning in tasks, and not really making progress on the stuff that really truly matters. But what if there was a lifeline? Well, there is. Let's introduce this really elegant framework that's designed to pull you out of that chaos and give you a real sense of direction. It's called the MoSCoW method. And the real beauty of this whole thing is just how simple it is. This is not some super complex system you have to study for weeks. Nope. It's a really straightforward way to sort your tasks so you can finally get back your focus. So how does it actually work? Well, the whole method is built around 4 really simple, super memorable categories. And I'm telling you, they will completely change how you look at that to-do list forever. First up, you have your musts, okay? Think of these as the literal foundation of a house. They are the absolute, non-negotiable things you have to do. If these tasks don't get done, the whole project fails. It's really that simple. These are your number one priority, no debate. Next, we've got the shoulds. Now, these are still really important, but they're not quite do or die like the musts. Getting them done adds a ton of value, for sure. But if you were in a real pinch, you could probably figure out a workaround. They're high impact, just not mission critical. And third, we have the could category. These are your nice to haves. The cherry on top. They definitely make the final result better, but if they're not there, it's not going to ruin the core project. You only even think about these after your musts and shoulds are totally locked in. And finally, and honestly, this might be the most powerful category of all, we have won't. Now, this is not just some reject pile. This is you making a conscious, strategic decision to say, not right now. And the mental freedom this gives you is huge. By putting something here, you give yourself permission to completely ignore it, which clears out all that noise and protects your focus. Okay, so this brings us to a really important distinction, and it's where a lot of people get tripped up. The difference between a should and a could. A should is important. Not having it would be a problem. A could is just desirable. Most people probably wouldn't even notice if it wasn't there. Getting this difference right is the absolute key to making this work. All right, the theory is great, but how do you actually use this thing? Let's get super practical for a minute and walk through exactly how you can apply this, like today. Seriously, it's as simple as 1, 2, 3. First step, get everything out of your head. Just do a total brain dump of every single task onto a list. Don't even try to organize it, just get it out. Second, go through that list and give every single item one of those 4 labels: must, should, could, or won't. And third, and this part takes discipline, you start working only on your musts, period. So at the end of the day, this whole method is really about empowerment. It's a simple tool that just hands the control right back to you. Control over your work, control over your focus, and maybe most importantly, control over your time. If you only take one thing away from all this, let it be this. The goal isn't just to make a sorted list, it's to create clarity. It's about being ruthless with your attention and focusing your energy only on the things that are actually going to make a difference. And with that, I'm going to leave you with a little challenge to get you started. Go look at your current to-do list. What is the very first thing you can consciously decide not to do right now to free up your mind for something that's a must? Because sometimes deciding what to ignore is even more important than deciding what to do.